لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين، رحمة للعالمين، سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الهداة المهديين، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين. There's one person on this earth who is wearing black but mourning alone. And he's been alone not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, but 1,178 years. And that is none other than our master, the Imam of our time. As we commemorate the Shahada, the mourning anniversary of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen today together, our Imam is alone. He is still alone. And we ask Allah on this night of Qadr that is before us, by the right of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, that Allah hastens the reappearance of our Imam. And let's ask Allah by reciting the Dua al-Faraj. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Azzamallahu ujurana wa ujurakum. May the Almighty magnify our reward in mourning over our master Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdalus salati was salam. Tonight, as we're gathered and as we're approaching the moment that we'll break our fast and enter the 21st night of the month of Ramadan, on one hand it is Laylatul Qadr. And according to riwayat, according to the narrations that we have, we're told that look for Laylatul Qadr between the 21st and the 23rd as well. Alright, so it is a very important night. Tonight our destiny is going to be sealed, and on the 23rd, according to some, it will be signed. Alright, so today is our day to work hard, inshaAllah. Tonight, make sure we're keeping away from sins, as the hadith of Rasulullah in the khutbah that he gave in Sha'ban, the last Friday. And he was asked by Amirul Mu'mineen, "Oh Rasulullah, what's the greatest amal that one can do in this month of Ramadan?" And Rasulullah replied, "Al-wara'u an maharimillah," to keep away from those things that Allah is displeased of, that Allah has made haram. Alright, so inshallah we're asking Allah in this night to grant us the blessings and the best of this dunya and the akhirah as well. Now, as we are gathered, we also remember Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. That's a very important discussion that we have for today. And as the topic for today's discussion is the oppressors and the oppressed in the light of the Holy Quran, we look at the life of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. In all of the stories that the brothers also narrated right now, just now, the one component, that one thread that can link all of the stories together is one concept. And that concept is a defining concept in Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And that concept can be seen in every action of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And that is the idea, the concept of justice. Right? Whether it be towards his family members, whether it be towards his friends and companions, or whether it be towards the general Muslims, or whether it be to non-Muslims, and whether it may to even be animals and insects and plants. Imam Ali alayhi salam, when people came towards him saying that we want to make you Khalifa, he said, if your Khilafat is of any worth, it's only worth if it establishes justice. Otherwise, it's not even worth the snot that comes from the bee or from the sheep. And he said, I will not, for the purposes of justice, I will not be unjust to even an ant in taking away a grain from the ant. This is Mawla Ali. There was a brother, an African-American brother, who became a Muslim just by hearing this fadila of Mawla Ali alayhi salam. He would come to the majlis, Muharram majlis, he would come, and one day he said to the organizers, I want to become a Shia. I want to become a Muslim and a Shia. They said, why? He said, when I heard that your master is somebody who would not be unjust to even an ant so as to even take a grain of food from the ant, this is the kind of leader I'm looking for. This is the kind of leader I want for myself. This is the kind of role model I want to follow and move forward in life. Brothers and sisters, when justice is under question, those who overstep the boundaries of justice are the oppressors. And in those people's rights that oppression has taken place are the oppressed. We find Imam Ali was so severe when it came to justice that one of the historians says one of the main reasons for the martyrdom of Imam Ali alayhi salam was his severity of justice. People could not stomach his justice. People could not handle it. Imam Ali, when he came after the three Khulafa who went, they had done so much injustice in the rights of the Muslims that they would take from the Bayt al-Mal, from the public treasury, and gift it to whoever they liked. That was the case. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he came, he said, I will extract that money back to the public treasury, back to the Muslim property, that's the Muslim land, Muslim property, Muslim holdings. I will bring them back even if you have made it the mahar of your wives. Even if it has become the dowry of your wives, I will take it back. Now imagine the severity of justice Imam Ali had. His servant Qambar, when he was ordered to give a person who had committed indecency some lashes, Qambar goes 3 over. He was supposed to give somebody 70 or 80 lashes, he gives them 83. Imam says, Qambar, lie down. And then Imam takes retribution for those 3 lashes from Qambar. You were not supposed to go 3 over. How dare you? You better not make this mistake next time. When his brother Aqil, his blood brother, comes to him and says, I want some money. Can you give some from the Bayt al-Mal to me? I'm your brother after all. And that is when we're told that Imam Ali alayhi salam brought fire near his hand. And he said, what are you doing? He said, if this fire is not tolerable, how dare you expect me to tolerate the fire of the hellfire hereafter? The hellfire that awaits us. The example of Imam Ali, if you just go look at his example in terms of justice, is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And today even, the United Nations comes forward and says, for the Arabs and for the Muslims, there's no better role model in governance than Imam Ali alayhi salam. And they bring forward and show us the charter, and the letter that Imam Ali alayhi salam wrote to Malik al-Ashtar. Where are we? That's the question. How much have we appreciated our own master, our own Imam alayhi salam? And tonight, as we mourn for him, we have it on ourselves as a responsibility to sit back, and even if it's for 5 minutes, to think and reflect. One of the greatest a'mal of tonight, on the nights of Qadr, is to think about our matters of religion and to learn some matters of religion. And inshallah, we take this opportunity tonight to reflect and see how Alawi are we? how much of the taste and color and flavor of the Alawi character do we have in our lives? We ask Allah to grant it to us, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, I would like to briefly go over some of the strategies, or rather I should say Allah's sunnah, in terms of oppression, oppressors and the oppressed. Now when we usually talk about sunnah, the word sunnah, we think it to be the way of life of the Prophet and the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Alright? That's the style, the way that they used to lead their lives. And we learn from it and we try and apply and emulate that sunnah. But you know what? As a matter of fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also has a sunnah. And in the Holy Quran He tells us that this is my way of doing things. And this is how things will happen. No matter what comes, if you believe in me, follow the sunnah, follow the pattern and you will see it. In Surah Al-Qasas that we recited today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually telling us through the story of Prophet Musa and the oppressor Fir'aun, that there are certain elements and features of Allah's sunnah that will always take place when it comes to oppression. Number one. So I'll mention three here, inshallah we'll end it with that. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let oppression continue for too long. Oppression will not continue forever. So this is hope for us. It's hope for the oppressed people, that your time of being oppressed will eventually come to an end, inshallah. Where is that? Where Allah in the beginning of the surah says that I will inherit this land to the oppressed people. Right? That Allah says the mustad'afin will be the inheritors. وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. Right? I will make the ones who have been oppressed on earth to be the inheritors of the earth. Now on the general level, anybody who's oppressed is part of this. But on the more specific level, this verse is referring to the most oppressed individuals on earth. And as I began with that individual's name, the person who is 1178 years, he's in a state of oppression. His right to rule that is God-given has not been given to him. Nay, his right to live a normal life as well is not there for him. Why? Because of us. Because of us not being ready to fathom, for us to stomach that justice that the Imam will bring. The question is, looking at Imam Ali's example, are we ready to accept that justice when our master Imam Mahdi comes and establishes it on us? Are we ready for it? If we are ready, then if that critical mass of people is ready, Imam al-Mahdi will reappear. But unfortunately, we're not ready. That's why the Imam hasn't reappeared. And that's a question for us. On one hand, point number one, oppression and arrogance, the istikbar will not go on forever. Number two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His grand plan makes way and makes room, and He helps the oppressed right under the nose of the oppressors. Right before the eyes of the oppressors, the oppressed are being helped by Allah. How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had Nabi Musa alayhi salam be raised right before the eyes of Fir'aun. In his own palace, in his own space, under his own watch, with his own wealth and resources, Allah was nurturing right before Fir'aun, his enemy, who later overturned his power. This is a sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah says in the Quran here as well, He says, these people, Fir'aun and Haman, were thinking they had other plans, but Allah had other plans. Alright? And this is when Fir'aun sees Nabi Musa come back to him with the miracles and with his brother Nabi Harun, and when he says, you were a child, we brought you up, what happened here? And that is the reality check, brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His grand plan will protect the rights of the oppressed, and He will help them prepare the groundwork for their relief right before the eyes of the oppressor, and he will not be able to do a thing about it. That is how Allah works. Point number 3. When the oppression goes on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection and internal soothing of the believers is always there. When the mother of Nabi Musa had to put Prophet Musa in that basket or into the water, she was not feeling ready about it. She was not feeling comfortable about it. But Allah sent down peace on her heart. And He said, O Musa, I will return him back to you. Don't worry. لا تخافي ولا تحزني. إنا رادوه إليك. We will return him back. And not only that, we'll not only return him back to you, we will make him from the messengers. These are reminders to us. These are glad tidings to us that whenever mu'mineen, especially oppressed people, are undergoing oppression, they're facing oppression, they should never feel that they lose hope in Allah's grand plan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His grand plan has things ready for us. Brothers and sisters, Imam Amirul Mu'mineen has been struck by the sword. And as he is on his deathbed, and as he is coming around and he's being met by his friends and family and his sons especially, there's a time that Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein alayhim as-salam are near him, and all of his sons and all of his daughters are near him, and he, in a long will that he says, his wasiyah, he as part of that tells them that kuna lil-zalimi khasma وَلِلْمَظْلُومِ عَوْنًا. At this last dying moment as well, Imam Ali alayhi salam has the oppressed people in mind, and he says, all of you, my children, especially you, my two sons, Hassan and Hussein, be for the oppressor a thorn in his side. Khasma. Be an opposer to the oppressor. Be an antagonist to the oppressor. And lil madlumi auna, for the oppressed one, the madlum, be a help, be an aid, be an assistant. Brothers and sisters, we look at the world around us right now. There are certain issues that are no longer can be considered political issues. They are humanitarian issues, right? The issue of Palestine is an issue that has been going on for more than 70 years. There's oppression going on in Palestine. There's oppression right now going on in Yemen. Muslims are being killed as they're fasting. There are Muslims who have been driven away from their homes in Myanmar. Around the world, not only the Muslims, even the non-Muslims, even in our territory where we stand, as the brother reminded us, we're sitting on unceded territory of the Coast Salish people. Isn't there oppression going on here as we speak, in our own country that we call home? What is our responsibility here? Do we just keep quiet? Do we just ignore whatever happened, whatever injustices happened historically? Or do we take a stance here as well? And that is how the Shia of the Amirul Mu'mineen, of Imam Ali alayhi salam, need to act. Brothers and sisters, Imam Ali alayhi salam has no longer energy left. His health is deteriorating. As his children come around to see him, they all bid him farewell. And he has now doctors coming in and taking a look at his head, examining his wound. And they see that there is no sign, there's no trace of any healing. And they tell the family that it is difficult for the Imam to survive. Not only the blow was strikingly hard, but also the poison that was on that sword had made its way through the blessed body of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. At this point, the family had come around the Imam, and the ashab and the companions had taken leave. But Imam al-Hasan had requested requested the ashab to leave them alone and to give them some privacy, all of the ashab one by one went away. But Imam al-Hasan realized that there was one sahabi, one companion who would not leave the door. He was sitting by the door. His name was Asbagh bin Nubata. Imam al-Hasan tells him, Asbagh, have I not requested you to go home? My Imam, your Imam, his situation, his standing is not good right now. Please leave us in some peace. Asbagh says, how can I leave this place where the Imam, my master, is leaving the world? Asbagh says, oh Mawla, give me a few minutes and I want to see my master for the last time. Imam al-Hasan takes permission, brings Asbagh inside. When Asbagh comes in and he sees Imam Amirul Mu'mineen on the bed, he falls on the feet of the Imam and he says, oh Mawla, oh my master, how will I live without you? Imam says, don't worry, I am going away to a good place. Asbagh says, oh master, I'm not worried about you leaving us. I'm worried about us not having you anymore. Ajrukum ala Allah. This is a time that Imam alayhi salam is now coming closer to the time that his soul will ascend to the heavens. Imam alayhi salam calls each one of his children. He speaks to each one of them privately, individually. He talks to Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. He talks to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. He talks to Zainab al-Kubra. He talks to Kulthum. He talks to Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. He talks to each one of his children. Each one of them have their quiet moment with their father. They know that their father is passing away. They've lost their grandfather. They've lost their mother. And now they're losing their father, Imam Ali. At this time, Imam says, oh my children, come close to me. I've just seen the Prophet in my dream that he says, Ya Ali, halumma ilayna. Oh Ali, come on over to us. Your time has come. Imam Ali says, I will be passing away soon. At this time, Imam Ali says that now I can see Malikul Maut come towards me. He says, Salamun alaykum. And he says, may Allah's peace be upon you, O Malikul Maut. And then he says, salams be upon you, O Jibraeel. My salams be upon you, O Rasulullah. At that time, Inna Allah ma'a alladhina attaqaw walladhina hum muhsinun. Somebody recites that. Suddenly the body of the Imam becomes motionless. The house of Imam Ali bursts into weeping and mourning, and the sounds of Wa Muhammada and Wa Aliya can be heard. Ala la'natullahi ala al-qawmi al-zalimin. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.